What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the Collective Clips. And you already know, man, we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say, hey, man, it's highly appreciated. Thank you, guys. I'm very humbled. So I just got done watching the No Jumper interview with Bands from Santa Rosa, the Norteño rapper. And it was truly anticipated, you know. I've been hearing a lot about the interview and I was asked a lot of questions about the interview. Was it ever going to drop? Was Adam taking his sweet time to kind of set this up so that way he maximizes his views? And whatever the case may be, whether he was got at and he was undecided whether he was going to drop it or not, he dropped it. Okay. Adam's got big balls, right? And he chose to do that. And in the midst of doing that, again, a lot of controversy is being stirred up. So I kind of wanted to speak on the one thing that I picked up out of the situation. And again, man, I got to commend Adam on a righteous interview with a righteous individual. Now, I know a lot of people see the stilo and the flavor of Bands utilizing the N-word and doing what he does. But you got to understand, he comes from the Bay Area. He comes from that swag, that stilo, man. You know, I know through my whole career as an active Norteño, when I was involved, you know, there was always this quietly as it was kept stigma that all Norteños were trying to act black or be black or carry themselves in a black style. And I always said, man, you know, you're a product of your environment. To each their own. Everyone rocks the way they rock. You know, being from the Central Valley, growing up there, our stilo was a little bit different from the Bay Area. And it didn't mean any homeboy was less than or looked at a certain way. You know, I've never condoned the N-word. I don't condone any raza utilizing it. But to each their own. If you're going to do that, go ahead and do that and embrace it, Holmes, and get everything that comes along with it. Because you could find yourself in a situation utilizing the N-word where maybe a brother is not feeling that, or maybe a homeboy is not feeling that. There's been plenty of times the way I was laced by OGs, man, if they heard that word being used by any homeboys around them, they were going to get checked. You know, and not checked in a derogatory fashion or a vicious fashion, but basically laced up and educated on what that word truly means and why, as a raza, we should never say it. But to each their own, man. I ain't knocking Bands. That's his stilo. That's his steez. He does that, right? He's a great rapper. It was a great interview. We got a lot of insight into who this vato actually is. You know, Santa Rosa, when it comes to the gangbanging aspect, is really on the map. It's very well known. You know, I got a lot of homeboys out of VSRN, Barrio Santa Rosa Norte, that I've done time with on yards all the way from the youth authority to prison. And I can say them guys rocked. I know Southsiders out of that area as well that rock in a vicious fashion. And all I can say is, man, shout outs to Santa Rosa. You got a real one out of Bands, you know. He's definitely coming up. Now, two things I wanted to touch on. You know, that could have probably been left unspoken. But hey, when you got a guy he's going to speak his mind. He's going to present, you know, his feelings out there and let it be known. And again, if Adam is providing the platform, and Adam, I heard that. I heard you laughing whenever Band said Lefty Blue when he got the name mixed up. Instead of saying Lefty Gunplay, he said Lefty Blue. He got Lefty Gunplay and Swifty Blue confused. And then Adam smirked and laughed. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I did. And, you know, for all these things that Adam's been saying, because I watch Hood Media, right? And I see him, he left a comment on Hood Media saying that he backed up Lefty Gunplay and that he made it a statement and a fact to back him up. I didn't see too much backing up. I seen you backing up like a crawdad when it came to letting someone, you know, speak on that guy. Again, Lefty Gunplay has made his bed and he will lay in it. There's been plenty of times where he was interviewed where he's disrespected the Norte, disrespected Norteños in general. And that come into question a lot of what he says just based off of doing so much time. And I think Bands touched on it. We're going to touch on this real quick. You know, having done a lot of time during the end of hostilities and functioning on yards with Norteños, he kind of is a harsh critic of their stilo and a harsh critic of them, period. You know, he kind of acts like they are less than what he's got going on. And again, man, raza is all brown. You know, they might strive for different causes, but at the end of the day, they strive wholeheartedly and viciously. And I think everybody, and I'm not picking sides here because that's not my thing. But I'm here to say, you know, I rolled that way correctly for a lot of years. And I did time with active Southsiders, active Sureños, camaradas, real ones on yards. And I can say it was always respect. It was always, we knew, we were of an understanding that at any time it could pop off. And the real ones were of understanding because I was there before the end of hostilities. But you would think now where you could have cordial conversations and relationships and build some type of, understanding there would be an element of respect. Kind of like how Dopey pushes the narrative of respecting the Northern Raza. You could tell he's really been places. He's really been around that breed and that character of people. Whereas in Lefty Gunplay, he does it kind of in a bozo fashion, like he nonchalantly disrespects. And just that's what it is. But then in the same breath says he won't go up north. But there was a lot exposed in this interview. So Bands kind of went in on Lefty, man. He says Lefty's kind of a joke. He sees Lefty as a J-Cat or, someone who's just saying things to say them. And he did question, how can you do time, behind them walls where things count and then come out and feel a certain way, about the northern Mexicans, the northern cause, the northern raza, and I've questioned that myself. I've always been in support of Lefty Gunplay. I've always been in support of rappers from Southern California as well as Northern California, because I believe at the end of the day, we're all raza and it's all, everyone's just trying to come up and get their bread. But this struck me as true when Bands questioned it as well. Now, he could have went, of course, without disrespecting him or calling him out of his name. But he spoke how he felt. You can't knock a man for speaking how he feels. There's been so many people that have defended Lefty Gunplay in the same breath, for saying what it is. I've had a lot of Southsiders get at me and they say, hey, Holmes, you can't be mad. He's a Southerner. That's the opposition. That's how he feels. Don't hate on that man for him being real. At least he's real and saying how he feels. Well, you can't be mad at Bands for saying that too. You can't be mad at Adam for allowing that to happen on his platform, because at the end of the day, hey, that's his guest, and his guest is going to do what his guest does. Now, do I think Bands could have carried himself a little bit more professionally and not said that? In this case, I'm saying, hey, he's just putting out there the narrative, how Norteños feel about people that disrespect them. See, the way I was laced was, you will be respected if you treat others with respect. That's it. If you carry yourself professional and you don't got nothing bad to say, then they cannot have nothing bad to say about you first. If you're running around bumping baking soda breath, if you're going around disrespecting people, then best believe, man, they're going to do the exact same thing, nothing more and nothing less. If you make your bed, you lie in it, and you got that coming. So Lefty has said a lot in the past, man. And again, does he have it coming? Well, I don't know. If that's how Bands feels, that's how that man feels. It's on his shoulders. And I'm sure by his posture and the way he looked, he ain't concerned. Okay, this is rap beef. It does become street beef. It does become bigger than just a couple guys that are rappers. But again, if we take it all the way back and rewind, when Lazy Boy went on No Jumper, I believe that, by him saying that he felt Southerners were stealing the style of the Norteños, a lot of people took that out of context, or a lot of people ran with that and felt a certain way. And Lefty felt a certain way about that, right? But if the shoe don't fit, and then you don't have to wear it. If you don't consider yourself, doing highway robbery on someone else's style, then the best thing for you to do is just say, hey, Holmes, that's how that Vato feels. That's how he feels. Charlie, Holmes, I don't feel the same way. See, you could agree to disagree. You could have a matter of different opinions. Doesn't mean you have to agree on everything. And believe me, it's hard for Norteños and Sureños to ever agree. That's one thing. That's where there's always going to be that motherfucking fork in the road. That's why there's always going to be that flaw in the gente ever coming together for some type of unity. Because there's just certain things that Vatos can't agree on. And one thing that they can't agree on, and this is the truth, the real truth, is the fact of who's harder, who's tougher. We already know who's deeper, who has the numbers. We already know that the Southsiders control Southern California, whereas the Norteños, there is a Southern presence up north. But again, man, those guys have even, the upstaters have even sectioned themselves off from the Southern California Southsiders, and they call themselves upstaters. They put their own label on it, because even they feel some type of fucking pride in being from Northern California and representing, their area. And that's just the way it is. That's straight up. So he did go in on Lefty a little bit. I seen that. And I was just like, hey, if that's how he feels, that's how he feels. You can be mad all you want. But other than that, I thought it was a great interview. Now, something that stood out to me, jumped out, and I was kind of shocked, was the fact that Bands said, he dropped the bombshell, that Lefty Gunplay was actually texting Goldtoes. Now, for those of you that don't, most of you know who Goldtoes is. Goldtoes is a producer from Northern California, the owner and CEO of GT Digital, man, who promotes a lot of rappers, signs a lot of rappers, puts a lot of people on. I know he signed Southern California rapper Swifty Blue, was rocking with him at one time. I know he was in talks with Grifo from Southern California and several others, right? And I guess, according to what Band said, it's a bombshell, Lefty was also in talks of maybe signing to GT Digital. Now, again, when Swifty Blue signed to GT Digital, man, or started to work hand in hand with Goldtoes to promote his music and distribute his music, there was a lot of people that started hating because they consider Goldtoes, because he produces out of Northern California, an active norteño. They consider him, if not a norteño, they consider him a sympathizer to the cause. Whether that's the truth or not, that's his business. But one thing I will say for sure is he's always rocked the narrative of raza, period. Brown pride, period, man. Love for everyone. Yes, he's based out of Northern California, now out of Houston, but he was based out of Northern California for so many years, San Francisco, the Mission District area. Of course, man, the people he functioned with and the people he interacted with were of the northern fashion, were norteños. So of course, him being with the raza, that's what the raza was. So he fucking produced them, put them on, and that was that. Now he's moved on in life. He's elevated his game. He now has several African-American artists. He has several, white artists, Tejanos, Tejanas, even Christian artists. Luciano, I know, used to fuck with him tough. He just has a lot of different people that he's put on, or he's helped to elevate the game and put them, because he has to connect, so he puts them in the mix. So it looks like Lefty, quietly as it's kept, was trying to get on that train, was in cahoots or in talks, with GT Digital to get put on. Now, you got to understand, you can't disrespect norteños and disrespect the north and do all that, and at the same time, be willing to work hand in hand with them in business ventures, yet disrespect them on social media, because either that makes you look like you're doing it for views or for shock value or to promote something, or at the end of the day, it makes you look like a poop butt, a sucker, man. Because the same thing, you got to practice what you preach, right? The same thing that you're saying, you're not holding true to that. See, if you don't fuck with the North there, if you don't fuck with the Sur, vice versa, then you just don't fuck with them, period, on any level, whether it be business, entertainment, personal, anything, and most real G's, real ones, won't even speak on the other side. They don't have nothing to say. They don't even recognize the other side as a threat. They just say, when you ask them, they're like, hey, I've met real Southsiders, hey, what's up with the North? They'll be like, I don't even know who those vatos are. And vice versa, you talk to the Norteños, be like, hey, you got a problem with the Sur? They'll be like, shh, if they got a problem with me, I ain't even tripping, homes. I'm over here. I'm pressing, right? They know when it's time to do business, they're going to handle their business. That's it. I've been locked up in holes, man, doing time among Southsiders, looking out for each other, shooting sopas. And we knew if them doors cracked, we were going to handle business. But at the same time, when we're going through the same struggle, man, there was no way we're going to leave raza behind, man. We're going to make sure that we're up to par, all of us, whether it be North or South. That's the true element of unity. That's the true element of respect. So, and I said it just in a video the other day, will the North and South ever be able to respect each other on the streets and get along? Probably not. Because you have characters, man, that try to play the role, that try to play the gangster role and talk tough and disrespect each other. And then at the end of the day, people are different on the text message. People are different behind the scenes. Now, of course, there was no text shown. Bands didn't show text messages between Goldtoes and Lefty Gunplay. So, of course, I'm sure Lefty Gunplay is going to dispute that fact. I'm sure he's going to say, this about to bump his head, Holmes. You know what I'm saying? He's going to, shit, I was in high power with Tory Lanez. There was no way I could text that guy. Whether that's the truth or not, Bands put it out there. Okay? And he looked, the way his posture and the way he was looking directly in the camera or talking to Adam, that's pretty much how he felt. That's pretty much what he believes to be true. Now, again, if Lefty denies it, he denies it. If he was trying to cut a deal and do some business moves, then that reiterates what I said, man, that Goldtoes, being from Northern California, isn't considered a norteño by ones on the streets. He's just considered, a sympathizer to the cause, or someone, man, that's a businessman that's willing to work hand in hand with everybody. We've seen toes with Baldacci. We've seen toes with several other Southern California rappers, Spanky Loco, and several others, man. And it's just business. It's business. And maybe in some instances, they built a personal relationship, a friendship. There's no rules, Holmes. Just because there's an invisible line in the sand saying you can't go past Bakersfield or it's not comfortable for you, doesn't mean people don't go past there, man, and try to get to the bag. I heard a lot of people saying, hey, the Norteños are just trying to be like the Southsiders from Southern California because that's where the money's at. Well, if that's where the money's at, it's not them trying to be like anyone. It's them trying to get to the money. And vice versa. There's a lot of money up in the Bay Area too, a lot of swag, a lot of stilo. So I see a lot of Southern California rappers going to the Bay to also do business ventures and make money. Hey, you don't have to work hand in hand, but the lines are drawn in the sand. Everyone can cross over whenever they choose to, man. That's what I've always seen. It happens all the time. Now, all in all, I thought the interview was all right. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a different look into a real one. You know, seeing someone go on. Again, man, I don't know Bands personally. I don't know, you know, a lot of the things that the way he carries himself, you know, I could see that he's done time. I could tell you, just having done time with individuals like him out the Bay, that's just the swag. That's the stilo, man. I can't knock it. Again, I don't agree with every word that was coming out of his mouth, but who am I, right? He's still allegedly active in the game. He's still pushing that narrative, rocking that. So he's going to continue to rock it the way he does. You know, do I think it's going to limit his exposure? It's going to limit his credibility in the rap game? Obviously, you know, anytime that you're mixing street gang politics, prison politics with, you know, trying to be a businessman and a rapper or being in the industry, there's always going to be some hindrances and some roadblocks, man. But it's up to you to be able to climb that fence and navigate that shit. There's people that have done it. You know, some people are smart enough to separate, you know, their personal street gang life and all that from their music and from the industry. But some just can't. Some utilize that to get known, to get put on the map. You know, and that's kind of like what I see Bands is doing, you know, rocking the red jacket and displaying his colors. You know, showing the burning fire of a norteño. He's doing that. Whereas I see the same thing with Lefty Gunplay. You know, rocking his colors, talking about he's a certified gang member. Just these things. They're proud of their barrios. They're proud of their heritage. They're proud, but you have to, you know, act like it. That's the only thing I say, you know. If you're proud of your people and the raza, the northern and the southern, then you have to, you know, carry yourself with some professionalism. So, I mean, it's probably going to heat up. There's probably going to be controversy over some of the things that, you know, Bands said. And the only two things I took from it was him saying, and I was shocked though, about the Lefty Gunplay trying to tap in and sign with GT Digital. I'm wondering what happened and why it didn't get done. And do you guys think it's true? Or do you think he's just firing it up, man, to cause more drama? Like he says, man, if you want the drama, you can get the drama. Again, man, there's going to be a lot of people that are hating, you know, on the fact that he was like flamed up. And there's going to be a lot of people hating on the fact that he even mentioned Lefty. And again, a lot of people that are mad at Adam for even allowing a norteño to go on his platform. But again, man, Adam is a businessman. I don't condone anyone going on Adam's platform just because I know the way Adam is. But Bands pretty much took control of this, and I figured he would. I figured, you know, as an active norteño, someone who's righteously been through the struggle in a real way, you know, and I couldn't say the same thing about Lazy Boy because I don't know his extensive history of being incarcerated. I just know he's a youngster with that look, Holmes, and there's a lot of, you know, big people behind him, so he's getting that push, especially being from the city of Sanjo. But I know Bands coming from Santa Rosa is a real one. And so he definitely, you know, said what he had to say. Now, as far as Lefty Gunplay goes, man, I'm going to see if Lefty claps back and he feels disrespected. I advise him, this is just my 2 cents. The best thing for Lefty to do is just let it go, bro. It's already done. The interview's done. Adam's getting his views. You know, Bands is getting his exposure out the game. You know, Goldtoes, I'm sure, was mentioned in a positive light. But at the same time, you know, all I want to know is, was he in cahoots? Was he trying to sign into Goldtoes? Which is not a big deal. If he was, imagine if Goldtoes did sign Lefty Gunplay. That'd be a big step for a certified stepper. That'd be showing a real unity, man. That'd be showing that, hey, you could overlook the drama. You could overlook the hindrances, and you could overlook, you know, these stereotypes that people are putting out. Imagine, and I've always said it, if the North and South could even just conduct business together on the streets, man. Just imagine how big that bag would be. Just imagine how big the bag would be if Lefty Gunplay did a collabo with Bands or Asito or Young Yigs. Just imagine that. You know, hey, everyone could be getting to the bag. And I truly believe somewhere along the line in the future, man, that may be the case. But as of right now, you know, I think there's going to be some serious cleanup. I think Lefty's going to go on the airways and be like, hell nah, he's going to deny. And if they do drop the fucking, you know, the text messages showing that, wow, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be feeling some type of way. And I don't know why. I won't. Because, hey, all money is good money. Hey, when I look on $100 bills, I don't see North or South. I see a fucking white man like this. Watch out. You know what I'm saying? Because the woods always got to get theirs, brother. Right off the top. Anyways, with that being said, let me know what you guys thought about it. Hey, I'm dropping this shit late. It is what it is, man. Let's make it happen. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the strive to struggle, the struggle to strive. And what do you think, man? I thought it was a good interview. Hey, Adam, toma, still, but at the same time, because I ain't going to sit there and fucking conversate with no fucking weirdo, right? But, hey, people go on there because, you know, they want exposure or drama or views or clout or whatever the fucking case may be. Respects to all those involved except for Adam. And you know what it is. I feel a certain type of way. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly and honestly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. This is The Gun. Bang, bang.